Peace, brothers and sisters.
Yes, brothers and sisters, Alice, everywhere, all over the world.
Aliens.
Yes, brothers, sisters, aliens, Alices of all kinds. Thanks for being here. We have the great and powerful Sidney Mays wearing his own merch like a fucking boss. Escapism is out now. It's the only CD I have in my car. I've listened to it about 100 times.
It's the best EP ever made until my next one.
That's true. Your next EP that isn't out yet is already the best EP, but this one's good too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go listen to Escapism as many times as I have, which is a lot. My favorite track on there is Table for One, which is it's a tight battle, but I like that one because it's very raw and personal. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for doing the thing I should have done. Whose show is this?
Get the angle.
Why don't you interview me, actually?
How you doing, Alex?
Oh. I'm here. But yeah, man, glad you're here again. You got some big things going on since last you were down the rabbit hole.
Big things coming, like
Big
everyone
things.
says.
Big things coming soon.
Yeah.
But no, for real though, you're playing Possum Stock.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no small potatoes, man. Escapism, it has been out for a while, but you're making new music as well.
Yeah, I got a new single dropping the day before Possum Stock, actually.
Oh, fuck yeah. We can have this out before then. So what's that single?
It's called Walk Away, and it's I haven't really done anything like it before. It's very psychedelic sounding. It's Tame Impala-ish.
Nice. Did you play that at Eastern?
No, I haven't played that.
Okay,
yet.
right on. That's smart. Yeah, it's a little teaser. You have to keep an eye out for that. What else you got coming up show wise?
It's not confirmed yet, but I might be playing a show at the Burke House September 16th, day after Possum Stock.
Nice, man.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to play there a while.
Where is Burke House, Nashville?
Yes, I'll have to look and see exactly where it is, but it's a house show.
So. I've never been there before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I knew all the house places. I'll come see you on 16th.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, just shoot me an address. And Alice will be there too, and I'll know if she isn't, and I'll do violence on Alice. Where did Sidney go? Oh wait, he's right there.
Here I am.
There he is. We may or may not have done another interview earlier that just kind of crashed. So Sidney was co-hosting, and now he's the guest of honor. So,
I'm the host.
Yeah, you're the host and I'm the guest. Yeah, ask me questions. Come on.
What is
You're good at this.
Yeah, I'm so good. I started to say, what is your favorite childhood memory? I don't know why I thought of that.
I was gonna say something edgy. I thought twice about it.
Hey, this is your podcast, dude.
Sexual abuse.
Oh,
it's my favorite childhood memory. But my second favorite childhood memory, it's got to be.
Oh, good.
I don't know. Actually, that's a quandary. Let me think about that.
You're an edgy one.
What childhood memories are good? Actually, like a real answer. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. We've talked about that before. And like I have a lot of disdain for organized religion, but there was also like a lot of good about it. Like I didn't know it at the time, but like I have felt the Holy Spirit, and like I didn't know that until I was an adult and like interacted with dark spirits. And I'm like, oh wait, I have felt spiritual energy before. It's different, like it's a different kind,
Right.
but I didn't know that until, like, if you grow up with it, it's just normal. Like you get
Yeah.
this like sixth sense, like this feeling being surrounded by people.
And you can feel it when it's different.
Yeah. And it's like I didn't know what that was until I was an adult and felt other energies.
Right.
And then I looking back, I'm like, oh wait, no, that was the Holy Spirit.
100%.
Yeah. So I would say my favorite part of church was singing. Like just everyone
Heck yeah.
singing and like gospel music. Um I really enjoyed that. I was homeschooled, so like I spent a lot of time by myself. Like everyone I knew was in my church.
Mm-hmm.
I literally didn't know anyone outside of my church till I moved out.
Kind of same.
Yeah. Yeah, you're from Perry County.
The metropolis.
What denomination of Christian were you? Or was it non-denominational?
They said it was non-denominational.
Okay. Yeah. What did
So it's, I don't know, it's like nitpicking, like a little bit of Pentecostal, a little bit of whatever.
so I don't know too much about Pentecostal.
Tongues.
Oh, okay, interesting. So did that happen like in church?
Yeah.
Like, okay, interesting.
Mm.
What is that? What is that like being around that? Have you ever channeled like speaking in tongues?
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
I mean, it definitely feels like you're channeling something.
Yeah.
When you're a kid hearing it for the first time, it's like, get me out of here, you know?
Mm.
And then once you hear it all the time, it's whatever.
Yeah. That's definitely interesting. I kind of want, like, not really, but a part of me wants to kind of
Yeah.
like go to see what other churches are like,
To experience it.
just to know. Yeah.
Mm.
Like I got invited to a like backwoods Alabama snake handling church,
Mm.
and I really wanted to go. My uncle was invited, and he invited me. My late uncle, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But we didn't go, and I really wish we did, because like that would have been awesome. Like probably like this was like some like
Turn this into a staff.
this was some like real boonies shit, like out in the sticks.
Mm.
So it would have been interesting for sure. But I think it would have been really cool to do that. Um Jehovah's Witnesses are pretty tame, like when it comes to Christianity. Like they're definitely a cult. Like,
Yeah.
but the shit they do is kind of lame. Like they just knock on people's
Boring.
doors. Yeah. They don't think that, like they do they don't call it communion, but they do communion, like drinking the blood and the eating the flesh. But they see it as symbolic, unlike I think Catholics, maybe Baptists, who think it actually turns into flesh and blood when you eat it. You know, heard this?
No.
Yeah, so like some people that do communion think that you are actually eating the blood of Christ and like eating his flesh. Whereas like a lot of Christians think it's symbolic,
I thought
but not all of them.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was literal.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
guess in the Bible, a lot of people, most people turned away when he said that. They're like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah. I think it's I was something I had to explain to my mom. It's like my mom is like very devout in her faith, and I respect it.
Mm.
Like the thing about like my mom and my sister and my dad is like when they knock on your door, they're trying to save your eternal life, which it's like everyone knows that Jehovah's Witnesses are annoying. Like no one wants their door knocked on Saturday morning to hear about God.
Right.
Like no one wants that. It's the fucking weekend. Get the fuck off my porch. No one knows that Jehovah's Witnesses are annoying as much as Jehovah's Witnesses do. Like they know that people laugh at them.
And they just smile through
Yeah.
it.
And they just smile through it. So like I have a lot of respect for the real ones. Like for me, like I was forced to do it as a kid, so it's like um it wasn't, I did it because I had to. Like I did it because like social peer pressure basically. And it's like that's what a lot of them do. Like even as an adult, like it's like this is expected of you. You have a quota. You have a certain number of hours you have to do it.
Really?
Yeah. My sister is a regular pioneer, which means she knocks on doors 70 hours a month. And I have a lot of respect for her because like I come from like my family is like really about it. Like they're trying to save the world, which like that's a lot of like
It's a lot of pressure on your shoulders, man.
yeah. And that's like I mean, that's me too. Like I'm an evangelist. Like I do this because I'm trying to educate people about the nature of reality and like learn, you know?
You know, the purpose of my music is at its core to do that as well.
Yeah, man.
So I'm very conscious about what I say when I sing. And that's why I don't really cuss on stage. It's
Yeah.
not because I'm perfect, because everybody cusses, but that's why.
You definitely have like a good message to what you do.
Thank
You're
you.
a very sincere, just all around great guy. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, man. You don't find a lot of people this genuine, and I'll hop off your dick in a second, but like
Get up.
like for real, man. Like you're doing things for the right reason.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, that's probably like why we instantly like got along really well because like I'm definitely not perfect, but I do a lot of what I do because I'm fed up with the state of the world.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make a change. That I don't have like delusions of grandeur where I think this is going to actually fix the world, but I'm doing everything I know how to do. Like I'm doing what I can. And like honestly, it's never enough for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, we need to be doing more.
Yes.
I
feel that.
I'm pretty radical with how I think we do that. I don't see a lot of pathways forward that are peaceful. I think that people are good ultimately, but we're stepped on, like we're taken advantage of.
Yeah, for sure.
And like it's been a long time since anyone has. Oh, hey, Neef, what's up? The one and only the Neef joins us.
The almighty powerful.
Praise be.
Neef, your grace is enough.
You're muted, buddy.
Howdy.
Whoa. Whoa, mama.
Whoa.
I just saw Black Venus at Muddy Roots. Have you seen them?
Oh.
They're based in Nashville. Shout out to Black Venus. They're fucking awesome. But the way I describe them to people is like if Johnny Bravo had a band, because he's very like cool, whoa, mama. Like that's how he sings.
That's awesome.
Like he's got this like charisma that's just like
super Elvis.
Yeah, man. Yeah, very Elvis. But like they played Muddy Roots and just like they had the whole crowd going.
Really?
What were you gonna say?
Did you see Point Taken?
Point taken. We were talking about this the other day.
They were the trumpet band, but rocking like kind of like Chicago.
So I'll be honest, Muddy Roots is kind of a blur for me.
I got you.
But I do remember
you heard like loud horns and fuzz guitar at the same time.
I think so.
That was them.
I'd have to know what stage. I'll look at it later.
Shout out to Point Taken.
Yeah.
Great local Nashville band.
Fuck yeah. If you're friends of Sydney's, you're friends of mine. Yeah. I probably did see them. I just
Have you had them on yet?
No.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would I'd love to. We'll make it happen.
I can holler at Noah, their lead guy.
Right on. I took I don't know why I'm like hesitant saying this. This is my fucking show. I took LSD moonshine someone handed me a mason jar.
I've never heard of it.
And I was like, what is this? And they were like, it's moonshine with LSD.
Was it glowing?
I mean, after I drank it, yeah. But yeah, I was like, someone just handed it to me in a crowd.
That's the most intense thing I've ever heard of.
Dude,
LSD moonshine.
Dude, it was magical, man. because like I'd already taken some mushrooms. Like I took a lot of drugs at Muddy Roots, but at this point I had already like taken some mushrooms.
Better than Burning Man.
Oh, way better than Burning Man. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Washed out.
Yeah, Muddy Roots was definitely better than Burning Man. But yeah, like basically, like a complete stranger just handed me a mason jar in the middle of a fucking pit,
What's the worst that can happen?
and I was like, "What?" He was like, "It's moonshine. It's LSD moonshine," and I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "This is gonna like I'm gonna hand this back, and I'm never gonna see this guy again." So I just took a big swig of it, and yeah, that was awesome. So anyway, I don't remember all of Muddy Roots. Is my point.
Point taken.
That's called. That's what we call in the industry a callback. Yeah, but what were we talking about before that?
Moonshine.
Black Venus. Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, Black Venus is awesome. There were a lot of great bands at Muddy Roots. Cro-Mags were fucking sick. They're New York hardcore legends. Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, I've heard of them for sure.
Yeah, they were stellar. It's funny because those dudes like have been touring for like you can tell like they've been doing this shit for decades, right? But they had this super young bass player that was just fucking shredding, dude. Like he's just up there. Like they gave him the stage to do a bass solo, and he
Awesome.
just fucking ripped it, dude.
Awesome.
And it's just so funny seeing like these old heads with this young kid that's like he's playing with them, and like you can tell like he's like these are his heroes that he's on stage with. And it was just a really cool thing, man. Like energy was good. There were a lot of great local bands at Muddy Roots. Point Taken, Soviet Shiksa, Weird Sisters, Officer Down.
Heard of them.
And then there was some Murfreesboro people. Say what?
Ain't they played at the Cobra?
Oh, we just saw them. Well, you came in late. The other night when we saw Brat.
Yeah, they were the ones that played.
They were on right before Brat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're awesome. Brat was great too.
Yeah.
Despite
having to stop, they pulled it off like champs.
Yeah. Some jackass just fell in the middle of the floor. I don't know. He might have been in like some dire straits, but I was upset that he interrupted their set.
Yeah, he seemed to be unresponsive for a little bit, but he made it.
Yeah, wasn't well, you know, I won't rag on him too much. He might have been dying. It's not cool that he interrupted their set. Anyway, die somewhere else.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. But who else was at Muddy Roots? Oh, fucking whoa.
Cue the road trip music.
Highway to
Oh no, we don't do that.
Welcome to your life.
Anyway. Black Market Kidney Surgeon out of Murfreesboro. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a band out of Murfreesboro.
Black Market Kidney Surgeon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Need to check that dude Ethan Rose, his other band Toxic Culture also played. Oh, Baloney Pony played.
Baloney Pony.
I
didn't see that on the bill. That's great.
Yeah, Baloney Pony played, and they threw bologna into the crowd.
Oh Jesus!
It was covered in mold. He said as much. He's like, someone eat this. It's covered in mold. And my friend Des, a piece of bologna landed on her backpack, and I'm just looking at it, and it's like got black spots all over it, like
this is where penicillin came from.
They got kicked off the stage.
Wow.
Yeah they were like, no bologna. And he's like, fuck you. He kept doing it.
Wow.
I don't even feel bad talking about it because like he
I mean, it's Muddy Roots and you got thrown out. You gotta really do some sideways shit to get
You
thrown
have to
off.
throw moldy baloney into
Oh
the
my
crowd.
I guess that answers that question. What extremities would you have to go to
Yeah.
get
But yeah, that happened and it was kind of fucking metal. Like I'm like, okay, all right, you're definitely punk.
Yeah.
And I think actually what got them in trouble is people were throwing it back on stage. And it was like,
yeah, now you gotta worry about the gear.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want moldy baloney in your gear.
No.
It
Yeah,
conducts electricity.
I really think that was the issue because I don't think it was so much a problem that people are getting hit with moldy baloney. I think it was that the
Yeah,
gear on
no,
stage.
it's uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mold conducts electricity.
No, baloney will.
Oh, really?
Well, it's wet, it's oils all in it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
and then it starts breaking up and getting down in the shit, and then you got rats and roaches hopping into your gear, which they love to live in anyway.
Yeah.
You
Um,
know,
Dang.
but yeah, shout out to Baloney Pony. Dude was shotgunning beers on stage, like in between songs. Like he's like, tonight we're getting fucked up. And then
oh
like
Jesus.
he brought out Tito's and started drinking
Oh,
tequila.
dude.
Or no, that's vodka. But
Tonight we're getting fucked up, and
Catch-
y'all are getting food poisoning.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time.
but it was actually like it was a good set before they got interrupted and told show's over. Yeah, yeah, Muddy Roots was a wild time, man. Shout out Muddy Roots. Shout out Possum Stock. Sid, I think we already said that. Sydney's gonna be playing Possum Stock. I hear
Yeah.
there's gonna be some special guests playing with them. I don't know if we can talk about that or not.
Maybe keep it on the down low too.
Okay, yeah, it'll be a special surprise.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to miss that.
Some
I'll say
fellow
that much.
all-knowing beings.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about Possum Stock I wish I could say, but we can't talk about that. It just be there, Alice.
You just have to show up to find out, Alice.
Subscribe
Yeah.
for more.
Yeah. But I will say the people that run it are super down to earth, great people. Shout out Michael Carter. Shout out Cody Parsons.
Yes.
Sky Daddy Productions. They're the realest people, just the nicest people. And there's a great lineup this year. Flight Attendant, Tails. Were you gonna say something, Neve?
I was going to just add in there. I was going to amend your statement and saying absolutely professional. Some of the most professional people I've worked with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Local legend has done more for the community than most. Yeah. I'm feeling complimentary tonight. I've said a lot of nice things about people. Who can I talk shit about? Who can we talk shit about? It's too positive in here.
Yeah. I need to go get the baloney out of my car.
Yeah. How to get kicked off a rhetoric rabbit hole.
What'd you say, Neve? That's great.
Show's over, Alice.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Well,
What we were talking about? Yeah. Back to what we were talking about earlier. That is one of my favorite things about growing up was like being connected to and also like reading the Bible. That's one thing about Jehovah's Witnesses that's actually kind of cool is unlike some Christians, not all of them, but some, they just listen to a preacher and like
they don't
they don't read the Bible.
Right.
Witnesses drill that shit. Like I've read the Bible and like I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for how I was raised because well, I mean, I know a lot about this shit and it's not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I find out even people that are Christians like don't know a lot about it a lot of the time.
It builds your faith, man.
Yeah. I have a interesting relationship with God. Like I was telling you earlier, I prayed for the first time in a while, which I don't know, like there was definitely a time in my life where I would have scoffed at someone saying that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that way now.
I think it's like, beautiful, man.
Yeah. Where like I don't feel that way now, where it's like I prayed and had pretty much instant results from it. The universe responds to you because you are the universe.
Right.
There's a meme I saw that was like, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Gotta catch them all.
just like STDs. There was a Dig Dug, which is like, no, Dig Dug is a fucking video game.
Charizard.
No, Diglett.
Mm.
Diglett is like this little brown thing that just pops out of the ground. All you see is its head coming out of the ground. I saw a meme that it was like 5 Diglets, and then like underground, there's like a huge Diglett, and it's just his fingers coming up out of the ground. And the caption was like, you, and then like the hand is like the universe pretending that it's people, like, and that it's individuals. And like a lot of people, like Trinitarians, Catholics, like the Christians that believe in a holy trinity, um they call it the mystery of the Trinity. That's how it's talked about.
The mystery.
The mystery of the Trinity. At least Catholics talk about it that way.
How's that defined again?
Well, it's a mystery. We don't know how it works, but
Well-
God is 3. There's the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost or
Okay.
Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
But it's all one. Those are the Christians that, like, there's so many subsects of Christianity, like
Right.
like different kinds,
That's
right?
another thing we believed.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
We didn't call it mystery, but the Father, Son, Holy
Okay.
Spirit thing.
Gotcha. But so like the way you were raised, is Jesus God, or is he the Son of God?
He's the Son of God
Okay. There's some Christians that think Jesus is God
in human form.
in human form.
No. Well, I mean, that's not what we were taught.
Okay.
It's,
Yeah, so Trinitarians, I think, is a type of Christianity. And then like Catholicism, I might be messing this up a little bit, but there are branches of Christianity that think there is one God, but he's split into 3. So you have God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. But it's all God in that belief system.
Mhm.
The people that believe that in that way
Mhm.
call it the mystery of the Trinity, because it's like, how can he be all 3? But it's actually really simple. My take on scripture, like what I think it's saying, is when Jesus says he is the Son of God, what he's saying is like, I'm the Son of God, but so are you. Like, I'm not the Son of God. I'm God in the flesh, but everybody is.
He said we do greater things than him, so that would make sense.
Yeah. I think which I've had a DMT trip that like kind of showed me this, but it also just makes sense to me. Like just thinking about it, it makes sense. Like
There's other beliefs, and I just saw something about this the other day, and I've seen this come up in other religions and things that deal with a trinity or a 3 type thing. And I think that it's a split. I saw something about traditional African religions believing that God was not separated, and the way they were teaching it, their orthodoxy was teaching that, whereas in more European was teaching the people that God was outside of you.
Is that
And it clearly states that if God is all and everything, then he would also be human. But a lot of the, as I call, the Roman control book manual, it's not so much that though that it itself was designed, it's just they figure out a way to use that. And you can do that with anything. You excerpt things and you work it out, and you say, you tell the people, no, God, it's you and then your king or your leader, and then God is the only one above that dude. When really the self, your human flesh and bone, is one of those 3 in the Trinity split. And
yeah.
it's like you're saying, it's just an idea.
there is only God.
And there's a
Like
lot of
everything
magic
you
in
ever
3.
see is God. Like I'm God, you're God, grass is God, existence itself is God. And it's like but there's also a creator.
That that moonshine LSD was God.
I tell you what, boy, that sure was.
Dang old Bobby.
Dang old Bobby. Yeah, but yeah, like you're saying, Eve. Also, something the the king is above you, but then only God is above you. Sounds very familiar, like one nation under God.
The only
It's,
thing above that is propane.
Yeah, it goes propane, God,
You know that that was added later.
propane.
No. Yeah,
Oh,
propane. Under God, because originally the pledge was supposed to be a very national, very socialist, if you will, very nationalist movement to make people, it was just one nation indivisible. And at some point, some group of religious fanatics insisted upon or got themselves under the power to switch that, and they added in under God.
That was the Augusta dude or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? The
Augustus Caesar.
yeah.
Is it a Caesar?
I know it's like Augustus was the name of the dude. Can't remember what he. I need to read back up on this stuff. It's been a while since I read into all this, but
Was this pre-America, like Roman?
I don't know if it was that long ago or not. But anyway, I just wonder like what influence he had
Hmm.
because he was the one that said the Earth is not as old as we think it was or whatever. They like
Hmm.
some people think it's like 6,000 years old or something like that.
Hmm. He thought it was less than that.
Well, less than what we think is millions and billions and whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, that's like the creationist theory.
Neef, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know the dude's name, but I know it's, like the creation museum I was telling you about, Alex, where,
Yeah.
they believe that Adam and Eve were hanging out with dinosaurs and fucking lions and shit, and everybody was like living in peace, being vegetarian or some shit.
Oh, like
And
yeah, like bears ate
and
grass.
and that was absolutely only like 6,000 years ago.
Oh yeah, we should go there. Let's go to the creationist.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go there. They're they're so horrible that they're so just dense with their shit that Bill Nye, I play a TV science guy, fucking lost it, or actually beat him in a debate. I'm like, wow.
The guy who plays a scientist on TV can beat.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah,
bad.
Yeah.
yeah. They didn't even send like any top scholars down there to debate with them when they had their little debate. They were like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, we'll send fucking TV dude. We'll send
Yeah.
the kids TV scientists down there just to show how fucking backwards y'all are.
The Steve Irwin of science.
Rocky Mike.
Groggy.
I miss that dude.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Uh, I'm old enough to remember when he was on TV and shit.
Me too.
Um, Fucking stingrays.
For real.
What a way to go. What a
Have
way
y'all
to
seen
go.
his son has been like continuing on,
Oh, really?
what he did? Yeah, it's really
Son and
cool.
daughter.
Yeah, he's you know, I've seen him pop up on a couple of like talk shows, with some animal freak to host out.
Mhm.
So but he's still, I mean, by now he might be, I don't know, he might be not a teenager anymore, but he was still pretty young,
Oh yeah.
running around doing all that. So,
He was
but
the very few celebrities to where when I heard he died, I was actually sad. Like him, Robin Williams, and Chester Bennington was the only celebrities
Mm.
that have had that effect on me.
Yeah, the Chester one is interesting. We can go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. I thought
Died
about that.
right around the time of Chris Cornell.
Yep.
oh yeah,
Where they were both working on a um, abused children in
hmm
Hollywood thing, weren't they?
That sounds right. been a minute, but
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It seems
it's
like the people that want to talk about child abuse end up killing themselves a lot for some reason.
yeah,
yeah,
kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
That's like what's his name? Um, John McAfee of McAfee Antivirus.
Yeah,
He died supposedly, or maybe went off the grid. We don't know, but
Right.
he died. We'll just say that. But he was found like hanging in his prison cell. But McAfee for years was like, if I ever die and it's deemed a suicide, it wasn't. I'm not
Right.
suicidal. He had it tattooed on his arm, like I will never kill myself. And they they fucking got to him. Or or so McAfee had a lot of body doubles. So who knows?
mm,
This was like in Argentina or some shit. Like so
Can you imagine if somebody came to you and they're like, "Look, you look a lot like this dude who's like a multi millionaire, and he's gonna pay you just ass loads of money to get all his matching tattoos and shit, and you to walk around. You might die.
yep.
You might get killed horribly, get kidnapped. Who knows? But he's gonna hook you up."
be
There is a
paid
chance.
handsomely. You're gonna be living the life. Yeah. I mean that'd be an interesting life to live. Like one of McAfee's body doubles was poisoned.
Mm,
Uh like it ended up in the hospital. He didn't die, but um
this goes to show.
yeah, the dude definitely had some enemies. That
Mhm.
that's a whole thing with McAfee.
It's its
Like
own rabbit hole.
he invented antivirus.
Did he?
Yeah, he was the first one to do that.
I didn't know that.
And like he did like he started McAfee anti malware and
That was actually malware didn't exist then. Viruses now are not what they used to be.
well McAfee antivirus. I'm not a computer guy. I guess it was McAfee antivirus originally.
Yeah, it was originally that, and then Norton. There was also Norton,
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to
which
think.
is now part of Microsoft, which is why you don't have antivirus anymore. You just have Microsoft protecting, which is ironic because Windows is the only computer that gets those kind of virus that can get that kind of virus.
Hmm.
And there was a lot of talk for years about when all the antivirus came out, how you needed to update it because there's new viruses coming out, and they were finding it's the same people making these damn Trojan horses. And all it was things that would just make your computer do dumb shit because
Yeah.
nobody had anything to steal. Nobody had, it wasn't like a worm to sit in somebody's account and drain money. All it did was force people to be like, oh my God, my computer ain't working right. It's slowing down. It's doing stupid shit. Let me pay this service every month or go buy this fucking software for God knows how much money.
Mm,
And they'll be on top of it. But Linux, things that run on a Unix system, you can keep completely free of virus.
So if you're Microsoft, it actually benefits you for there to be viruses. That way you have something to protect against.
Yeah, kind of funny, huh?
It is funny. Kind of like real viruses, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because what is a virus?
we don't really know, right?
I mean, I can't get a straight answer from anybody anymore. I remember learning about it when I was in school.
just a backwards program that attacks your system, ain't it?
Well, when it
It's
comes to computer virus, can be a lot of different things. Now, malware, which is just basically something that runs that basically scans through your system for all of your basically temp um, ease of access software, or inputs like, all the pages you go to.
right.
People are like, oh God, I don't want Google looking at, it's, yeah, nobody really wants Google like having your phone on all the fucking time. But, when you're sitting there talking about something and you go to look the shit up and you hit two buttons and it, for whatever reason, pulls that video you're talking about up, That's why, and that's really goddamn handy.
Mhm.
You know, if you're somebody that shops from home or you're looking to buy some shit, it's real fucking handy when you're scanning through your fucking Facebook or whatever to see ads for shit that you want to buy. That's really what all that shit's about.
Hmm.
Now, Russell Brand today was talking about a couple of different stories that kind of, you know, he coincides things together really well. Talking about the drone usage by the police and talking about a law that's trying to be passed about DNA tests. And that what you'll end up doing is people of interest, they're trying to push it to where you don't have to be charged with anything. You be a person of interest and they can come swab you. And what that means is with drones that fly around for the police, the government, that take video and audio, they already have um, systems in place to scan your computers to see where you're looking, you know, because all that data has been pulled into Google and it gets sold to whoever.
Yeah.
And anything that's on the market to get sold, the government can just go in and say, yeah, we got a fat discount, you know. So they've got all that data on you. And if they decide something you look up or something you said online is questionable, just like parents that are going down to the school board meetings are getting called terrorist risk because they want to go down and tell the school board they don't agree with what the fuck they're doing with their children. You know, so they might become a person. There's a dude that went, I think it was a guy, I think it was a father, went to jail for that shit, doing time for it. And all that does is, yeah, well, now we can show up and put you in the DNA, scan you for DNA. You ever seen, seen the anime Psychopaths?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen Psychopaths.
Yeah, it's kind of turning into that.
Yeah.
You're gonna scan your DNA and look at all your files and say, you know what, this dude's a fucking potential goddamn threat. Just go ahead and off him. And all it takes is laws to be passed. And
So
people
like
think, well, nobody'd ever pass a crazy ass law like that. Well, how many fucking crazy ass laws do we not agree with?
Yeah.
yeah. By the time it's passed and then fast forward 20 years, it'll just be normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of shit that like doesn't make any sense, but we're just used to it.
Just stare into the screen, Alice.
I mean, this show
Ignore everything. The government will think for you.
this show will definitely get you on a person of interest list. Sorry, Sydney.
Are you wearing this? Are you?
Say what?
Are you airing this?
Am I airing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I'm not really saying anything new.
Just wondering.
He's like,
I'm
are we doing this?
I'm a hologram. No, okay.
Let me be on record saying I don't agree with anything me for Alex says.
Yeah. No, we're just talking.
Yeah.
I'm but a spectator.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, this isn't enough to change anything. Like, we need action, right? But like, this is the kind of shit that they worry about. Is people talking about issues that you shouldn't be talking about. Censorship, like like shit's already really like shit's fucked up here. Shit is like extremely fucked up in China.
Mm.
Like they have like we have credit scores here, which is a weird thing. It's a weird thing to have a credit score. But in China, it's a social credit score, meaning that you can say things that will lower your credit score. So like,
And that will prevent you from going to certain areas of town.
yeah, you can't.
And if you start hanging out with people and you're monitored being with people with low credit, it'll drop your credit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it encourages you not to be around people with low credit scores. So what that means is not only do the people with low credit scores, which let's face it, that means like poor people a lot of the time is what that's going to mean. Like they're not able to go to the wealthy side of town. But that also means that the wealthy people in their own way are not able to go outside of their area either.
Actually, from what I understand, you have access to wherever, but why would somebody with access to the high side of town even care to go to the low side of town,
Right.
especially if it's going to lower your credit score?
Exactly. It's so it's not that you're not allowed, but you're kind of not allowed because it might affect your life and your livelihood and your family.
They make it your decision.
Yeah. I mean, like you can very easily see it being like become like a family thing where it's like if you go to that side of town to see that boy or that girl, like you're no longer part of this family because when you come back, you're going to affect us with your shitty credit score.
Mm.
You brought this honor on your family.
Dishonor.
Dishonor. um, yeah, it's a weird world. I think there's some kind of intervention, like whether it's demonic or alien, that like I don't think we did this to ourselves, like where we're at in the world.
Really?
No, I think there's malevolent evil forces that make things like people do a lot of fucked up things, but like the system we live in, I don't think we created this on our own. I think there's other factors involved. Like, because I don't know about y'all, but like 99% of the people I meet, like, are not evil. like, like they don't always make the right decisions, but like for the most part, they kind of more or less care about other people.
Mm.
Like some people, like you don't have to be evil to not give a fuck.
No.
But most people like are not going to go out of their way to fuck someone over. Those people exist, mind
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But um like when you start thinking about like uh like upper echelon control and manipulation, it's like who's really running the show? Um back to biblical stuff. The world lies in the power of the wicked one. That's it's true. Whether that's people or not, that's true. Um, whether it's metaphorical or literal, uh, the world is controlled by evil, and I don't think that's people. I think there's something else going on.
That controls people.
Yeah,
Yeah. I believe that.
whether they're just channeling like evil spirit, or just for example, there's aliens on the moon that are controlling people and world governments.
What's going on in that dark side? They never show us.
Dude, have we talked about this?
Like, no, I don't think so. You know, some I don't.
Bro, I'll send you something later if you're interested in
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I love this kind of stuff. I used to
Okay,
be obsessed with Area 51, man. When I was a kid,
bro,
like, what do they got over there?
I'm telling you, there are aliens on the dark side of the moon. So the moon, okay, here we go. So the moon, it rotates,
Yeah.
but it rotates at the exact same speed that the Earth does. So like we always see the same
So you
face
never
of
right,
the moon.
right.
We always see one side of the moon. Like ancient Egyptians have this god named Khonshu. He's the moon god, and his face is the face on the moon. Like the crater on
Yeah.
the moon is his fucking face because the Egyptians looked at the same moon that we look at today. Like it hasn't moved.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, and
That's wild.
but the thing is, it doesn't rotate like perfectly. So like sometimes it will shift just a little bit, like not like barely at all. But people with at-home telescopes have taken pictures of the corner of the dark side of the moon, and there's lights there. Like there's pictures of this where like it looks like if you're like flying over a city and you look down and see a bunch of lights, that's what it looks like up there. Like there's a bunch of like there's like a city up there. Not only that, but Buzz Aldrin has said that when they got to the moon, there was a base on the dark side that was already there. Not only that, but they were hostile.
This was the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we did go to the moon.
Yeah.
But the footage is fake. Like the moon landing footage is fake because they can't show us what they actually saw up there. And I think what happened is we got up there and they're like, okay, great, you found us. We're aliens, we're up here. Congratulations. Now you have to do exactly what the fuck we tell you, or we're gonna kill you. And they're like, oh, okay. So then they go home, and then after the 60s, shit starts getting really authoritarian, where it's like, I mean, you know, we were already headed there, right? But it's like shit starts getting like real tight. And it's like maybe people aren't running the show. Maybe it's aliens on the moon telling the government. Like I think that's what's gonna happen is like the government's fucked up, but the more we dig into it, we're gonna realize they're not in charge. Like and like yeah, it's really easy to say, well, yeah, no shit, the government isn't in charge. The banks are, but maybe the banks aren't in charge either. Like we were talking about gold earlier. Like the banks.
The gold is gone. As far
Yeah.
as we know, China has all the gold.
Yeah.
And gold is what was mined by the ancient people all over.
Mhm.
Gold is very heavy, very soft. It's worthless for tools, it's worthless for weaponry. But what can you do with it? You can make a circuit board out of it and shoot it into space and it will never corrode.
You know, it always annoys me when people say money is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all
Yeah.
evil.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like pretty much every screwed up thing I can think of stems from that. You know, if
Yeah.
you love it above everything else, I mean, that's
actually something Neef says a lot is
kind of
it's
screwed
not
up.
capital, that's capitalism. That's the problem. When you make it the center of your focus. Like
Problem with everything that's an ism, just like classifications, you know, just like we have to divide ourselves based on all these bullshit social constructed classifications.
That's why we have escapisms.
Right.
yeah, that's the only ism that's okay is escapism.
Like Peter Tosh said, we're sick and tired of the ism schism game.
You're good at this. That was good.
Oh,
I gotta give you that.
I'll try. Thank you.
That was good. Yeah. But yeah. When you make anything the center of your focus, like money is an example. Like there's nothing wrong with like
I love what it can do, you know.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with living comfortably, but like when you have $1 billion, like why worry about getting more money? Like you have more money than you're gonna need.
Why not try to help somebody?
Yeah, like everything else you make after that should just go into people. And that's not only like a moral thing, like an ethical thing. That just makes sense, right? Because it's like if you invest in people around you, they're gonna like you. If you hoard everything, like Smog from the dragon from The Hobbit, like people are not gonna like you, and they're gonna come for your shit. You heard me. You heard me, Bezos. I'm coming for you.
Alex, we're talking about real stuff, not Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, everything is actually alluding to Lord of the Rings, just so everybody knows.
Yeah. This is fake. Lord of the Rings is real.
We are holograms.
Hmm.
We're not even here right now.
Yeah.
We are channeling from the dark side of the moon.
Lord of the Rings is our real past, and Star Wars is our real future.
Damn. Hey, actually, on that, in the Silmarillion, the history book, of Lord of the Rings. There's like eras, and it actually is supposed to. Did you know that, Neve? Were you making a joke when you said that? Like Tolkien, his universe includes us.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, like
The last one? The last era?
Yeah, well, I think so. I think we're the last one.
That's why it's called Middle Earth. He did what a lot of writers back then would do. Howard, I'm a big fan of it. Did Conan?
mhm.
He, I mean, Conan is it's the same way. All of Conan's tales, all the stories, they're short for one thing. They're not nearly as elaborate as like the movie. But that is a small bit of time in this entire basically Pangea prehistory Earth that he's created with every religion that's in it. He's written out, and he's got a whole. He wrote essays on it basically, and
Wow.
in the collection book, there's a whole appendices on it, kind of like Tolkien did, where he's like this is the ancient book of this, and he breaks everything down and he's not even really mentioning Conan and actually he had another series. I think that was the Kull or Krull, and that took place at a different time in the same place.
Kind of unrelated, but um, the Time Machine, H.G. Wells. Have y'all seen that movie that like the older one in the 50s?
Mm-mm.
It's one of my favorite, like
I never saw the 50s one.
I don't know what you like dystopian kind of movie of all time. It's so freaking good. 60s, I think.
Damn,
Still a long, long time ago.
I have to check that out.
It's man, it's awesome. It really is. Just how everything plays out. It's great. I love it. Cheap plug for the old Time Machine movie.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'll check that out.
I was there. I
I,
saw it all happen.
you took a time machine.
I did. I sure did.
Uh, do you keep up with Marvel stuff at all?
Uh, nah, not really.
They put out me either, but they put
That,
out a show.
that came out in 1960.
60.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, so I mean that's almost 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, they Marvel just did a thing called Secret Invasion.
It really is great though, Neef, if you get a chance to watch it. Go ahead.
Oh, I can find it. I can find any movie on the internet because I'm a pirate. Erg. Um,
What was the
yeah.
Marvel movie?
Also, this show will always be free because hi, yeah. Anyway, intellectual property is not a thing. Like,
Yeah.
but
Merch sales.
I mean, well, you can own that. Like, you can own like a T-shirt.
Mhm.
You can't own a podcast. Like, it's once it's out there. Like, who are you to tell someone they have to pay for it?
True.
It's also just not a good way to market your things. Like I know a lot of like I'm not throwing any shade at anyone. Like where the only way to get their music is like Bandcamp, right? But it's like that's not really the only way to get like if you have to pay for it like through SoundCloud or Bandcamp or something,
Mhm.
people can still get it if they want it. You can go to YouTube, you can go to one of these down like is Napster still?
YouTube actually auto generates because
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of artists get put up as topics, and I found local artists on there, and I'm like, I know that they were like, go buy my record off of this or here, and I'm like, do they even know that YouTube's got it up?
Thought
You
of
know,
some really cryptic ways to be uncopyable. Like
Go on.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like make a record and then the only way to get it is to come to a show and then put like I don't know. It's 2023. There's got to be a way to do this somehow. There's some kind of chip or something maybe you can put in it to where when it tries to be copied, like it can't happen. Like something prevents it from happening.
they had at one
The
time,
CD.
early 2000s, they made if you got a DVD of a film that was unreleased, they actually had in the very center ring, they had a raised bump. And because a DVD player itself, the laser only went to a certain point.
Yeah.
A DVD drive in your computer would read the whole thing. If you put it in a drive, it would actually scratch your lens up and ruin your DVD drive in your computer. And that's how they prevented people from copying the film over. But there's always a way to do it. You know, I mean, back in the day, you could listen to the freaking radio and, record
Mixtape.
the radio and end up getting a bunch of songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept, but one of the things is putting it out on wax, because the transfer is always obvious. You're always going to have crackle in it. It's always going to have, and a lot of people don't want to go through the time of the setup, but you can get USB record players all day long. Another way to do it now, cassettes that are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't really have the ability to run a cassette player into their computer that easily, unless they go buy that specific kind. But nowadays, if you buy one, it's probably got Bluetooth on it and a USB. So,
So it is kind of pretty impossible to be uncopyable or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the thing is while it's not technically illegal to download things, it's against policies of a ISP, but it's not illegal because it's already there. It is what is illegal is putting it up. Which is why if you look at an old movie on a VHS from way back, it'll have the copyright protection federal law thing pop up in the very beginning of it, and it'll say any distribution or public showing of this for profit is prohibited.
Right.
After a certain time, I guess sometime maybe in the 90s, they started putting for or without profit, because what that allowed people to do was you could still show the movie if you didn't charge for it.
Hmm.
And the same way people get around that now, playing public shows out in places that aren't rented, they don't charge a cover because it's illegal.
Yeah.
They ask for a donation. When I was running the club, we used to run kung fu films in the middle room, just nonstop. When we had a screen up, we had a little projector we shoved in the wall, and we just have all kung fu movies playing, usually on mute if a band was playing in the back. But that's when a lot of that was like, oh, we can't throw this DVD in and just watch this movie because, or show it to everybody because, we're a club.
What about a TV with what about a bar with TVs? How does that work?
Well, that's the thing is with your bar, you have back in the day when it was air TV, that has commercials. So that's just like turning the radio on. All right.
Mm.
If you have and what'll happen here is BMI and ASCAP will try to come hit you for your blanket fee because you're playing a radio.
You got to pay for it.
But mainly, if you tell them, if it's just a standard radio, they're really not supposed to, because the ads are on there and they're already getting paid by that radio station, right? The revenue's already coming from the radio station to BMI to the artists. And so that's like charging you a second time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So they would get upset when they would come in and somebody like a bartender have a CD and playing because they're publicly, you bought the CD and you can listen to it, but you're actually increasing your business by playing this music. And they'll hound you for a blanket fee for that. You actually you gotta get a dance license.
Mm.
It's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on with it. to try
So-
to.
So if you just have like direct TV in your bar, that's different from like playing a movie.
You're already paying for it,
Yeah.
because in every single TV that you have, your service provider will be charging you for. You'll have that many modems in the back running them. So that way you can switch them and do whatever. And then you also have pay-per-view. And if you do a pay-per-view, it's not like at home. You'll pay a fee. You have to pay a commercial fee to run a pay-per-view event in your club, in your bar,
Okay.
through your provider, through whoever, Comcast or whoever,
So like when you go see like a fight or like a football
Yeah.
game or something.
they're paying for it. But that's why sports bars and stuff, when they show I used to go watch fights at Hooters right down here, and it would be slammed. There'd be nowhere to sit in the place.
I remember McGregor Mayweather. I went and saw that somewhere, and it's like this is fucking stupid. Like there's barely standing room in here.
Imagine how disappointed people were like in the 80s when they would buy pay-per-view to see a Tyson fight. And like in the mid 80s when he was champion and they'd be over.
Oh yeah. There was really, what the really shitty thing was is people that got tickets, and they would be in the fucking concession stand line getting a beer when the fight started. And they'd be like, "Oh, I get down there in a quick enough time." And they'd walk down, the fucking fight's over. They didn't see a thing.
Damn.
Yep.
Paid a lot of money to be there.
Yep.
That's fucked up.
There's a fight coming up that I want to see. Tyson Fury, who's the current heavyweight champion, and the Francis Ngannou or whatever.
Yeah, boy.
Who is being trained by? Take a guess.
I don't know.
Tyson.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, he's like giving him pointers and stuff. I don't know that he's waking up with him and training with him every single day, but
if
pretty
you go
insane.
somewhere to watch that, I'll go watch it with you because
I would love to. I think it's September already. I think it's coming up in October.
that's like the one sport I actually like enjoy and keep up with.
Boxing?
Well, I like boxing, but I don't like boxing as much as I like MMA.
Yeah.
And it's actually like I really like boxing, but my thing about boxing, you'll get this because you're a boxing fan, but like to someone who's not into like combat sports, hearing this, it might not make a lot of sense, but like boxing is a lot more brutal than MMA. Because like MMA, yes, they're not wearing gloves and like you can kick each other, like a lot more is allowed, but they also go for like 3 or 5 rounds.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how boxing is more brutal than MMA.
They go like 15.
Well, MMA is not a league. MMA is a type.
Well, yeah, UFC.
UFC has a lot more rules than say like Pride. There's Pride fights, which are usually done
My
overseas.
point is, UFC or Pride fights are less brutal.
I don't know. Well, I don't know about Pride fights because they allow punching on the ground, they allow stomping, and they're in a boxing ring.
How many rounds do they go?
I don't know, but it's insane. Some of the most insane fights I've ever seen were all.
So I hear what you're saying, right? But here's the thing, right? Street fights are quick.
Yeah.
A Pride fight is gonna if everything's
it depends. That it all depends on who's fighting, because and a lot of those they would have these specialty fights over there that would be not it wouldn't be a standard matchup. It'd be some big dude and some kickboxer, and they'd be going at it for a while because it's 2 completely different things. It's almost like a circus event, and there's no cage. So dudes go out of that ring, get wrapped up in them ropes and flopped out on that ring, out of the ring all the time. You can get your head stomped in some of those fights.
So what makes this fight coming up interesting because the
Did you say Tyson Fury and
Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
That's October 28th.
Guy is, I think he's from the MMA world.
Yeah.
But
I thought when you said it was a MMA fight. I didn't realize it was going to be a boxing match.
That's the thing. Fury is so skilled boxing wise. I think he's gonna win.
Well, yeah, if it's a boxing match, you got a trained boxer, he's probably gonna win. Yeah.
Right. It's just
it always
Sagano is a
looks like that.
fucking beast.
Yes.
But it also depends on how much boxing training because an MMA fighter is just that. It's mixed martial arts. And a lot of them, if he started off in boxing and then worked his way into other things, it depends on what styles that he learned. Like Muay Thai has got a lot of hands. Kung Fu is mostly all hands.
Yeah.
Isn't Francis Ngannou the one that like was raised in fucking like cobalt mines?
Yeah.
Like he was literally a slave.
Yes.
I think, yeah, I was at that dude. Yeah, I remember hearing about the dude.
Yeah, that dude has like 3% body fat.
Yeah.
Like he's a tank.
And he is
like
one of the
that's
absolute
Goliath.
hardest hitters in the world.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean anything if you can't find nothing to hit. Like Ali proved that with Foreman decades ago.
Mm.
It's just if he can get one solid hit in, I think that would do it.
Man, that will be a good fight. I'll go see that. But what I was saying is, with the exception of maybe like pride fights, like Neve's talking about, like point being, boxing is more brutal than UFC because they don't get to like go to the ground and there's not like kicks being thrown, but they're going for like 8, sometimes 12 rounds, and it's
I
like,
don't know if brutal is the correct term there. I understand what you're saying, that yeah, it takes a lot more out. And also with boxing,
well, there's a lot more lasting damage. Like
well,
you might break your fist or like break your leg in the UFC, but like these dudes are suffering like serious head trauma
right. Well,
from
that's
just
the
getting
thing
hit
is,
so many times.
that's the thing is, if they get hit so many times,
It's like sustained
and
perpetual,
that's usually,
which
yeah,
is
and
like
that's
worse for
usually
you than getting hit
heavyweights.
once.
Heavyweights is usually where you see that.
Right.
Welterweights and featherweights and little dudes,
Okay, fair enough.
they're
Like
bit that
heavyweight
bit that,
boxing
and they're
is,
actually a lot,
yeah.
because a heavyweight match, once it hits the 5th round, it's sleepy time.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, all right, quit hugging, y'all.
That's kind of my point is like you're so there's so much energy being
Yeah, it's more, well,
Yes.
it's more exhausting because you have the potential to go that long, but the brutality level is so much higher in UFC, which is why they only go 3 rounds.
Okay, maybe you're right. Brutal is not the way to talk.
Because for one thing, you have full contact gloves, which have like that much padding rather than like ounced up gloves that are what, how many ounces they're running. And you don't have to worry about knees or heels. I mean, you saw the way Silva put dude on the mat with the heel of his front foot.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about brutal, Jesus.
Right,
and I guarantee you that caused everlasting damage to that dude.
Fair enough. It is more brutal. That's why it's shorter. Yeah.
But I guess boxing is like a street fighting sport.
Well, that's the thing is boxing, if you're so trained in the boxing, your stamina's up and you know how not to get hit.
Right.
Getting hit in the head one time really hard and is not as bad as getting, this sounds stupid, like no shit, but like getting hit in the head one time is not as bad as getting hit in the head 80 times, right?
Right.
It's like it's the perpetual sustaining damage that's
Right.
good.
Right.
But also by the 80th punch is not anything with the same power that the first 5 were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're losing stamina too.
Yeah.
And there's also, you don't have the option to like shoot and start ground and pounding on somebody, where the ref is going to stop the fight because you just keep hitting dude in the face and he can't stop you.
Right.
Boxing, that only happens when the dude's guard completely goes down and he's,
and
but
usually
also,
called at that point.
Yeah. And then you fall down. Now, there's a point in what you're saying with that, because in boxing, you also have the count out, where in the UFC, if you get knocked out or you tap out, or it's a decision. In boxing, you fall down and you get a 10 count. So you have the option to actually fall down. and then get a few seconds to get your shit together, you know. And if you hug too long, they'll break you up, which is a strategy, you know, because it gives you a second. You know, you'll see
Right.
boxers spit their damn their mouthpiece will get knocked out, and sometimes it'll keep getting knocked out because they got to stop the fight for a second and put the mouthpiece back in. So that gives you a second to breathe when you're getting the shit kicked out of you. You know, UFC, no, when you get grounded, they're like, okay, well, he taps, or he fucking his head taps on the fucking ground and he goes unconscious. You see
Yeah.
a lot more unconsciousness in UFC and MMA.
Yeah.
Who do you
But
say your favorite boxer is?
My favorite current lightweight is and probably just in the whole boxing world is Tank Davis. What about y'all?
I don't know as much about boxing as I do UFC. Um,
He's lightweight champion.
I don't really even keep up with UFC anymore. I used to years ago, but
I,
now I'm in highlight land because I can just hop on after the fight and be like, show me the last 10 fucking best knock the fuck somebody else. And you know,
when it comes to boxing, like I've seen a lot of like old Ali fights.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Tyson
Yeah.
fights, and I've seen a lot of Mayweather fights, which he is a great, like one of the best, if not the best, technical boxers. Uh, but I know a lot more about UFC. Like I've just seen a lot more of those.
That's fair.
My favorite UFC guy in the UFC right now is Israel Adesanya. Um, he's the style bender because he I don't know, he's very interesting to watch because he's got a very unique style to him. Have you seen him fight?
I know the name for sure. I
Okay.
haven't seen him fight.
He's he's coming up. He took some L's in the last year or two, but like he's really good. John Jones is also, I like watching him fight too. He's kind of like Mayweather, where it's like he comes from a line of professionals, and like he's also selective about the fights he takes. And it's like maybe he'd lose some if you want to get some people, but he like knows how to play it. But I'm pretty sure John Jones is still undefeated, like 49-0 or some shit like that.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Um, I really like Khabib.
Yeah.
Khabib is he went undefeated as well, I think, and then retired.
Yeah. Anytime you see somebody with cauliflower ear, you
Yeah,
be cool around them.
those Russian grapplers are something else. Like, there's like a whole
he
thing.
retired.
Say what?
Khabib retired.
Oh yeah, Khabib's done. Um, yeah, he went like hit. From what I understand, his mom wanted him to stop,
Oh.
so he quit. But Khabib literally grew up wrestling bears. Like they had him wrestling bear cubs.
Holy crap.
Like those Russian grapplers, and that's the thing is like you don't really see Khabib throw a lot of punches. He's just going to take you to the ground and then put you in some kind of hold where there's nothing you can do, and you're just fucked. Like,
You remember the Klitschko brothers, the Russian dudes,
mm-mm.
boxers? Really?
No, I know like the super famous boxers, and I don't know a lot about other.
The Klitschko brothers. You remember them, Neef? Big, tall Russian dudes, two of them.
Huh.
Let me look them up.
What era of boxing was that?
This was like earlier
How do you
2000s.
spell it?
Oh, I don't even know.
Klitschko.
I can't speak spaghetti. But
There
anyway,
we go. Yes,
I remember-
Klitschko.
yeah, I remember because it was like speculated what would happen if they fought. And I remember seeing a thing, it was about they were saying there's one very specific reason why we would never do that, and it zooms out and their mom's sitting in between them.
Oh,
Oh, I thought that was sweet.
oh,
You know,
there's a new dude coming up that's like he's from Khabib's.
So apparently, um,
he was champion for a little bit. I think.
one of the yeah, Vitaly
Yeah.
Klitschkov and Vladimir. Vitaly is now a Ukrainian politician.
What?
Yep.
Whoa. Wonder how that's going for him.
What's his brother doing? Let's see. Oh, his brother looks even more brutal.
Yeah, this was
His brother is my age.
a little while ago.
He held the world heavyweight championship twice.
He was kind of a boring fighter to watch. He would like jab and then grapple, jab or hold, jab and hold. But
they're really talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Those guys know what they're doing.
Yep.
That's like there's a
Looks like a fucking beast.
Oh, he was. Big, tall Russian guy.
Yeah, I'm seeing him stand next to another dude in a standoff, and he's freaking towering this dude. And that the other dude is not small.
There's another fighter in the UFC coming up right now. I can't remember his name. I don't speak spaghetti either, but he's from Khabib's little tribe of like people that they all
Camp.
train together. You know what I mean? Camp. Thank you.
Camp.
Try his clan. But
I'll be right back, y'all. I'm gonna go get some bonbons.
But like
hurry.
He's from that camp like where they all train together and like Khabib's always in his corner and shit or like watching him from the stands. But he does the same shit that Khabib was famous for. Like he'll just take you to the ground like submission, like technical wins all the time. And like man, those Russian grapplers are just like undefeated in their game. Like that's what they do. They're in their lane and like
freaking tough as nails, man.
Yeah, yeah. And then like then you get like you have your technical like Muay Thai. I think Muay Thai is right. But like your kickboxers like Anderson Silva, like
Yeah,
where it's like he doesn't have to grapple you. He can strike you. Like he's gonna. What I like about Silva is like he took his time. He's very patient.
Yes.
Like he would wait for you to gas yourself out, and then he would just step in and like once he get on a tear, like he'd stay on it, but he would wait for the opportunity. Like he's very very patient. And I think that's a lot of like when you watch rookies fight, like that's a lot of their issue is they're like I'm coming out the gate like and then they're gassed in the first round. Well, dude was just it looks like he dominated the first round. He probably did, but then like it's over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't everybody be like Tyson, man?
I bet boxing's like that too, where you get like a rookie that just he goes all out, and then like he's just gonna get dominated the rest of the match.
That's how. Did you ever see the Rumble in the Jungle? George Foreman and Ali.
Maybe.
Well, that's how Foreman lost because at that time, I think Foreman was undefeated, and that's why it was such a big deal because they were the absolute top of their game, and Foreman just, one of the most powerful punchers ever, just pounding him, pounding him, pounding him, pounding him, and Ali was just dancing, and then same thing at the right moment when Foreman ran out of gas, Ali got him. That was one of the only times Foreman was ever knocked. He wasn't knocked out cold. He was just knocked to the ground for the 10 count.
Damn.
That's how he did it.
That was I watched the Ali movie.
How was that
with Will Smith?
I didn't see it.
It was really good. I'm not like a huge Will Smith fan.
I felt like that was a weird guy to choose for that role.
Man, he killed it though.
Did he?
Man, dude, he got the footwork down.
Good.
Like he moved like Ali. And it's like
that's saying something.
Yeah, it's I'm not a Will Smith fan at all. He killed it. Like he really nailed Ali. Awesome. And it's like
keep Will Smith's name out your
mouth. I was waiting for that comment.
Oh man, there's a. Oh man, that reminds me of Theo Vaughn is like, I would never say anything rude about Will Smith's husband.
The fact is, we all people are without hair. Will Smith's husband, he lost it.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious.
That dude is wow.
Theo Vaughn's so good. We were talking about Kill Tony earlier. He was on Kill Tony not long ago too.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Really?
Yeah, Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, no shit. I gotta.
Post Malone was
search
just
that
on
out.
Kill Tony.
Dang.
I saw the posting of that, but I didn't watch it.
Did y'all know Mike Tyson has a podcast?
Yeah,
Hot
hot boxing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's great.
I'm a bigger Tyson fan of Tyson now.
He's
He's not a
hilarious.
boxer.
Yeah.
He's such like a down to earth,
chill.
like you like chill human.
And he eats
It's hilarious.
mushrooms all the fucking time.
Yes.
There's
What
so
about-
many of his podcasts that he's shrooming, and nobody will say anything about it because they're like, I mean, it's fucking Tyson.
He was on Logan Paul's podcast, and he just had like his fucking his fucking baseball mitt of a hand just had shrooms, like a pile of shrooms, and he's like, "You guys want some?" He just like ate them all, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
I want to meet that guy.
Yeah.
Did
Whenever,
y'all ever see? I just saw this footage the other day. I'm not really sure how old it is. But Tyson's daughter died.
Yeah.
what?
He had a daughter that died,
She was 4.
Oh,
and the dude interviewed that they're at his house, I believe.
is this like a long time ago?
I
Not
did
back
think
in his
so.
career. It's been a few years. It's been several years, but this is after he was, I think it was after he retired.
Yeah.
And this guy I think he's at his house to interview him.
He's an older guy, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And he starts to ask him about it. And he says something and he goes, you should probably leave now.
yeah.
And they're like, okay. And the look on his face. And the reason he says that is because he understands how dangerous he is, where he is starting to go emotionally. And he's the kind of dude that's like, no, I'm not going to be able to sit and have you question me about this. It's not, that was going, but all he had to say was, I think that's what he said. It's something like that. Like, that you should probably leave now. That
Yeah,
you
you
need
have to go now.
you have to go now.
You understand?
Yeah. And you're just like, it's one of the scariest fucking looks you've ever. I mean, all the fucking boxings that you come out and he's a fucking pit bull. That's heavy shit,
And he stands up and asks the crew, "You guys want to take this off of me?"
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, his mic and shit. Yeah, straight up.
Yep.
And you're like, yes, sir.
Mike's old school, man.
Yep.
He's one of them old school dudes.
Alice, check out Escapism, Sidney Mays, out now. Catch him at Possum Stock. Go to
Be there.
Possum Stock. I can't emphasize that enough.
Be there, Alice. We'll know.
I approve this message.
Peace.